I'm going to work through some of the materials under week 3 and discuss especially the sprint planning and the Project 1 vision and requirements pieces. We scroll down here and we can see the Project 1 vision and requirements are here. When you click on this, we go to a document that is embedded in the Moodle site, and you can see that the formatting is not great. So if you prefer to look at the original doc, you can click up here and go to the uh, Google Drive and see the shared document there. You can see that this is a 7-page document, so it's pretty expansive, and it outlines the portfolio for Project 1. This is going to be a 4-week project, and we're getting a 1-week jump on it. We're going to spend an extra week just practicing some of the agile techniques. So you get an extra week of work on this project. You'll want to read it carefully and in preparation for your sprint planning meeting. You want to know the material well rather than getting up to speed during your sprint planning. You will see many details in this document. I want to point out one section especially, the self-organization section. It's on the screen now and reads that self-organize. It asks you to self-organize within your teams to ensure all requirements are addressed and one person has key responsibility for each requirement. I'm going to leave it up to teams to divide the work up equitably among all members. You'll see the quotation here, "We are all going to do everything," is not an appropriate response to the question of how you're going to divide the work and how you're going to work cross-functionally. Instead, one team member must take primary responsibility for each requirement. For example, one team member must take primary responsibility for the hypothesis, one for signal phrases, one for defining technical terms, and so on. You may combine those. One person might take several requirements. But if I ask a team who's in charge of defining technical terms or making sure that the entire team has defined their technical terms in their documents, you should be able to point to one specific person and not say, well, we're all going to do that. I want to make sure that communication is clear, and when everyone is doing everything, communication tends to break down. Taking primary responsibility does not mean doing all the work related to that one requirement. It just means helping the team do the best possible job on that requirement by learning about the requirement, checking people's work, and doing research, looking up the content in the textbook and other resources so that you're knowledgeable about that area that you've agreed to commit to. And then support the team in all of its efforts to meet the requirement successfully. Teams may divide responsibilities in whatever ways suit the team productivity, but team members must agree 100% on the division of responsibilities for each requirement. The document outlines all the specifications for the assignment, the portfolio assignment, including topics that are allowed, and we're going to be looking at wearable technologies as they relate to your fields of interest. So please do read this document carefully. You will see that Project 1 requirements are broken into 5 sections. There's a research section and then several requirements related to research. There are several critical thinking requirements, and there are genre or structure requirements for your work, the work that you write. The definitions, the technical definition and extended technical definitions are fairly straightforward, but they are specific. it matters how you formulate your definitions. And so reading that material carefully is important. There's a section on paragraph development that asks you to think carefully about writing full paragraphs according to specific guidelines. And finally, there is a requirement for reviewing and editing your work. So when one person is responsible for reviewing and editing, when you put the final portfolio together, this person is going to be looking at documentation styles, not having to style the whole portfolio him or herself, but looking to make sure that all the team members have appropriately styled their documents as contributions to the entire portfolio.